Hey guys, Simon here, bringing you 10 things you don't know about Batman Arkham Knight. In this video, we'll go over some places, people, trivia, and random Easter eggs found in the game that you may have missed or didn't know about. As always, I'm going to ask that if you liked the video or learned something new from it, you hit the like button and subscribe. And if you knew everything already, hit the button anyway and subscribe, because you know, we both know a lot of the same stuff and we should be friends. Alright, let's get started. Starting off the list at number 10 is Ocean Master Sushi, a restaurant located in Gotham that, you guessed it, serves sushi. What is important to note of this restaurant is that it shares the name of Aquaman's half-brother, Orm Curry, aka Ocean Master. Born without any powers, Orm lived under Arthur's shadow and was very resentful for it. He shows an affinity for magic and in time develops a very good mastery over it. Orm was a petty criminal in his earlier time and is stricken with a form of amnesia and ends up forgetting everything he knows about his life. He disappears and resurfaces a few years later with a new name, Orm Maris, the Ocean Master. Building himself some new items such as a helmet that allows him to breathe underwater and body armor that can withstand the pressure of the deep oceans, Orm strikes out and attempts to take the oceans hostage and hold them for ransom. He's often stopped by his half-brother but still continues to plot against the King of Atlantis. Orm uses a trident that helps him focus his power, which he received as part of a deal with the demon Neron. It gives him great control over magic, but at the cost of great pains of agony if it is released from his grasp. The deal also scarred his face horribly, which is also why he wears the helmet. At number 9 we have Mayor Gill on trial. Inside the clock tower on the floor is a paper with a headline that reads, "Gill on trial for corruption." This would be referring to the always corrupt Mayor Gill of Gotham. No real surprise to anyone that reads the comics, as Gill is often written as a corrupt politician looking to stay in power and get rich by making deals with the seedy underbelly of Gotham's lowlifes. The article doesn't get into specifics of what Gill did, however he's finally on trial and is going to pay his dues. At number 8 we have Birds of Prey. Barbara Gordon does most of her work in the clock tower, either as herself or as Oracle. From helping Batman to TiVoing Johnny Charisma, the former Batgirl spends all of her time on the computer talking, which is no surprise when we find this Easter egg. In one of the lower levels of the clock tower, on a computer monitor, we are able to find a small conversation between herself and a team she runs called the Birds of Prey, which consists of herself, Huntress, Black Canary, Batgirl, and a revolving host of other characters from Catwoman to Hawkgirl. In this instance, the conversation pertains to Oracle asking Huntress to help out in Gotham, even though the Huntress views this as Barbara dictating to her what to do. It's worth noting that Black Canary doesn't make any comment, even though the conversation is about her and coming to Gotham. In the corner of the screen, however, we can see icons for both Oracle and the Huntress and Black Canary, so we know she's in the conversation and has seen the messages or will soon see them. At number 7 we have OSAMU Tower. This one is a more recent addition to the Batman universe. OSAMU Tower is owned by Hiro Osamu, the Tokyo Batman. This reference comes from the Batman Incorporated storyline, in which Bruce Wayne admits that he has been funding Batman's war on crime and has set up a corporation to help him take his war on crime global, with Hiro being one of the people Batman offers a spot to in his organization. It's not as smooth as it might sound for Hiro, however. Batman finds out that Hiro at some point used a gun in his crime fighting as Mr. Unknown, and as we all know, that's a big no-no for the Dark Knight. However, Hiro ends up helping Batman take down a villain and in the process impresses the Dark Knight, for which he is given a 3-month probation period to be Tokyo's Batman. Hiro accepts the offer and begins his quest to help rid Tokyo of its crime. At number 6 we have ZATANNA'S Magic Shop. Located in a small little tucked in area, you will come across ZATANNA'S Magic Shop. Zatanna was a successful stage illusionist before she discovered her true magical powers while investigating the disappearance of her father. With the help of Batman, the Atom, and others, she was successfully reunited with him. Their time together, however, was short-lived, as both of her parents were later killed on separate occasions while saving her life. A close ally of Batman's, the Dark Knight has been known to call on Zatanna when he is dealing with things outside of his expertise, such as the supernatural and magic. However, after the events in Identity Crisis, in which Zatanna mind-wiped Dr. Light after the terrible things he did and threats he makes, Batman walks in on Zatanna and a few other League members in the process of the mind-wipe. Outraged by this, he demands them to stop, but instead he is also mind-wiped along with Light because the other League members know he would never stand for what they are doing. The truth comes to the surface in time, and Batman remembers what Zatanna did to him, which causes a huge strife in their relationship. After these events, Batman needs help with a Lazarus pit and calls in Zatanna to help him. She asks him why he came to her for help with what had happened in the past between the two. He replied, "I needed someone I could trust, but I had to settle for you." It's worth noting that in the comics, these two's friendship goes back a long way before Bruce ever became Batman, when he sought out Zatanna's father to teach him escapology. Despite the strain on their friendship in the past, the two have made efforts to get back to where they once were. At number 5 we have the Markovia poster. There are a ton of posters located around Gotham, but one is a bit more obscure than the others. That one is Markovia. Markovia is a small country located in Europe and is home base to a group known as the Outsiders. No, not those outsiders. Yeah, those outsiders. It is also home to Prince Byron Markov, who rules the country, and is also Geoforce. The team comes together after an incident occurs in the country which results in Batman, Metamorpho, Black Lightning, Geoforce, Katana, and Halo joining forces to stop it, which of course they do. After this, the team decides to stay together and continues working together. Things work well for a while with just Batman and Geoforce butting heads every once in a while on how to handle the team. Batman leads the team at this time due to him leaving the Justice League and being the most experienced member of the team. Eventually the team splits from Batman but continues to operate from inside of the country. At number 4 we have Dixon Docks. Driving around Gotham you'll come across the Dixon Docks sign, which is pretty much big out in the open. This is a nod to Chuck Dixon, a Batman writer of the 90s and early 2000s whose storylines include Nightfall, Night's End, Contagion, Legacy, Cataclysm, and No Man's Land. He was the most prolific Batman writer of the 90s and is also responsible for helping to create such characters as Stephanie Brown, the Electrocutioner, and Bane. Before he got his big break at DC, he worked at Marvel on the Punisher War Journal and a few other Punisher titles before gaining the attention of Dennis O'Neil, who was DC's editor at the time. He made Dixon an offer and partnered him with Tom Lyle to make a Robin miniseries starring the new incarnation of the character, Tim Drake. The series was extremely well received and spawned 2 more miniseries and then an ongoing monthly title, which Dixon also worked on for over 100 issues before jumping into his Amazing Batman run. At number 3 we have TOCKMAN'S Antiques. Another villain store located in Gotham is TOCKMAN'S Antiques, home of the Clock King, William Tachman. In the comics, Tachman takes care of his invalid sister who is dying and has very little time to live. Tachman during this time also finds out that he has a terminal illness and has little time to live as well. In his desperation, he attempts to steal from a bank vault and is caught and sent to prison. During his sentence, his sister passes away and he discovers that his original medical diagnosis was wrong. His doctor got his paperwork mixed up and that he is not dying. With this being too much for Tachman to handle, he snaps and escapes prison. Just a normal man with no superpowers, Tachman plans his crimes simply relying on time and his ability to use it to precision, along with a few clock-like gadget devices. He has a few run-ins with Batman, but nothing worth of note. Most will remember the Batman animated series version of the character who uses time as his main weapon, always knowing when things are going to happen, such as a train always being late or someone taking their lunch at a certain time. At number 2, we have the Johnny Charisma Door Code. After you go back to the movie studio with Robin, you discover that someone has let out all of your infected blood victims. Taking the time, Batman runs around the building with Robin, wrangling them all up. One of these victims is that of Johnny Charisma, a TV personality in Gotham. As you make your way through the movie studio, you come to a door that is impassable without the door code. Using a camera in the hall, you are able to see where Charisma went and the code he entered to open the door, which is 0539. If you take these numbers and apply them to the calendar, he will come up with May 5th, 1939, the same month and year that Batman first debuted in Detective Comics issue 27, on May 5th, 1939. Looks like the creators of the game just tossed in a bit of Bat trivia for fans, just for a little bit of fun. At number 1 we have the Man-Bat Escape. This one is a bit tricky. First, you have to lock up Dr. Kirk Landstrom, the Man-Bat. After a few cat-and-mouse games and some research into the doctor's lab, Batman is able to take down Man-Bat and does so without much trouble. After locking up Langstrom in the GCPD, Batman returns to the streets to keep taking out the trash. As the game progresses and you lock up more and more villains, nothing really happens. This is where it gets a little tricky. Like with the Calendar Man achievement in Arkham City, this Easter egg requires you to go into your system settings and change the date that is currently on the settings. You want to change the date to October 31st, the year does not matter. Once you do, log back into your game. Start going to the taller buildings out in the city and grapple up to the top of them. Once you do, you should come to one where the Man-Bat will jump out as he did the first time when you were trying to search for him. After this, he flies off, never to be seen from again. Drive back to GCPD and question the officers what happened in the Man-Bat's escape. The officers will say he transformed, broke out, they fired off a few shots, but they couldn't stop him and he got away. Batman will reply that it was something he feared would happen, but couldn't do anything about at the time. Well guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Those things really help for someone who's just starting out on YouTube just like me. I will continue to bring you more Batman Arkham Knight videos to YouTube in the following weeks, so keep an eye out. Thanks.